What is going on YouTube? Back here with episode 3 of Fat Loss for Beginners. Today we're going to be talking about custom macros. Now if you're new to the channel, make sure you go check out the why mindset. Again, having a clear understand why your why is going to the fat loss journey will help you have a better understanding. Also, if you're following along or you didn't watch the last episode, make sure you go watch protein intake and current situation. Again, I'll break down the importance of protein, the understanding, and kind of how to put in your lifestyle, like where your current situation is to kind of how to implement moving forward. Because again, if you don't focus on protein, there's no point moving on forward to custom macros if you don't do so. With that doubt, let's move forward. So I'll give you a client example I work with him, they said. So for example, we have a client that's 6'3", 250 pounds, and 23 years old. He's also a pilot. He works out five times a week, minimum 10K steps, also does cardio 6 times a week. Now I'll show you how you guys do it, how you customize macros in this formula.
All right, so I'm going to show you guys how you calculate your macros. So we're going to go to the search bar. We're going to type in Harris-Benedict equation right here. You're going to click the first thing that comes up on the screen right here. So for the information I give you from my client, this is what we're going to put in the information. So you would say he weighs 215. So we're going to put that in there. He was 6'3". He was 23 years old, and he's a male. So when they calculate that for you, you're going to get BMR 2205. Now, again, what does BMR stand for? It stands for basal metabolic rate. And that's going to mean that if you're able to do nothing the entire day, you'll be able to burn 2,205 calories a day if you were to be able to do jack shit and just lay on your bed and watch TV the entire day. But again, most of you guys are already doing that, and it's very low than what the standard is. So I would definitely advise you not to do it until you get yourself proven there. But that is about it on how to calculate macros. Now I'll go show you how to implement it.
All right, once we get the BMR, which was 2205, how do we find TDEE? Well, first we got to figure out the caloric multiplier. And what a caloric multiplier means is based on your lifestyle activity or how much you work out. So we're sedentary, we don't really work out, don't do anything, just eat couch potato. It'd be 1.2. We work out 1 to 3 days, so per week it'd be 1.375. Work out 3 to 5 days, be 1.55, 6 to 7, 1.725, and CrossFit 1.9. So if we're looking at how we get a TDE for your true maintenance, well, we do 2,205. And we're looking at currently his activity right now. He works out 5 times a week, does minimum 10K steps, and does cardio 6 times a week. We're going to use 1.55. Again, he's a pilot, so there's going to be some days where he's not going to be work out because he's going to be in the air the entire time. So we'll times that by 1.55. We'll get 3,031 calories. I already kind of did this in my head. So what does TEE mean for 3,031 calories? Well, based on the information we receive on his daily activity, he should be eating, consuming about 3,031 calories every single day. And TDEE stands for total daily energy expenditure, meaning on a daily basis, he should be having the true maintenance caloric intake based on the activity he's doing. Now, if we look at what he's currently doing right now, he's only consuming about 1,800 calories. So you look at it from 3,031 to 1,800, that's a big deficit of 1,200. Now, his goal is to weigh 200 and lose that little small belly pouch on his lower stomach. Well, if you like to, he can do it the other way, but it's not going to be sustainable. Why? Because if we go from 1,800 to 1,400 calories, it's going to be sustainable, but it's not going to be optimal because he's going to be eating like a toddler. And we got to get that shit out of head that eating less and doing more is the case. If that was the case, then everybody won't be having this problem. So since that's not the case, we're grown adults now, so why don't we eat like one? Is we're gonna have to reverse him back up to true maintenance. And I explain to you what I mean by reversing later down the video. So just kind of give you a rough idea of what we're currently doing and why TE is very important. So now how do we get proteins, fats, and carbs? I'll show it to you. So for protein comes out to be 4 calories per gram. Now again, I always start with protein first. Again, this is the main vital nutrient that's going to help you lose that belly fat and keep the muscle tight. Again, if you guys don't understand, I'm going to say this blue to the face. Protein is very important. If you need a better understanding, go back to episode 2. I explain more in detail about that. So, again, his goal weight is 200. So we do 200 grams times 4. We're going to get 800 calories. Now, fats is a little bit different. Fats is always a minimum between 0.3 to 0.5. And that's just fats, again, is just going to help you keep your hormones in check and keep everything, your skin, your hair, your organs healthy. So what we're going to do is, I always like to just do the minimum 0.3 for a starter pack. But again, it's based on your activity and based on what you like more. You like carbs, you like fats. It's based on your preference. I always like to start at 0.3. So what we're going to do is also 2 for fats equals 9 calories per gram. So we're going to take 3,031 times 0.3, and we're going to get 909 calories. Now again, since 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories, we're going to divide that by 9, and we're going to get a total of 101 grams of fat. Now, since we have the protein, and we have the fats, how do we get the carbs? Well, carbs are pretty simple math too. So what I'm getting 2 carbs equals 4 calories per gram. So how do we get carbs? Well, you take total protein plus total fat calories minus total caloric intake equals number of total calories for carbs. So what I mean by that, so we're going to look at protein. We're going to do 800. Total fat, 909 equals 1709. Now, we take total caloric intake minus this number. So we would do 3,031 minus 1709. That's going to equal 1322. Now again, since there's 4 calories per gram of carbs, we're going to divide this by 4, and we're going to get 330 grams of carbs. So now, put more simplicity, his calories is 3,031. Protein is 200 grams. His fats is 101 grams, and his carbs is 330 grams. Now that's how you get your custom macros right there. Is you do this whole equation right here to get the total equivalent amount of calories and to figure out your total amount of macros of fats and carbs as well. Now, if we're again going back to the TDEE, if we're looking at 2 of his macros ain't far from carbs and fats, but his protein's way under. Again, protein is very important. So what we're going to need is, I like to always break it down more in terms for my clients, is step 1 is protein focus. Again, I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. If you don't understand why protein is important, go back to episode 2. So protein focus, and we're going to try and increase 20, 30 grams every week, per week. Why 20, 30 grams? Well, protein is very satiating and it takes a little bit longer to digest the food. So if your stomach or your metabolism isn't up to par with the amount of consumption your protein is having, it's going to cause some disruption. It's going to cause you to feel bloated. It's going to cause you to feel gassy. And it's just going to cause you to feel overall sluggish just because your body's not used to the consumption amount of protein. So I always kind of recommend about 20, 30 grams of protein every single week for my clients just to get them used to it. So for example, if he's only having 95 grams of protein, we're going to bump up to between 115 and 125 grams. So each week he'd be able to increase it by this number each week. So hopefully, by week 4, he'd be at 200 grams of protein. Again, just get your body used to it. Again, it's going to cause some gassy. It's going to cause you some blood. Just FYI for you. So, as always, my focus first is I always look at protein, see how much they've been consuming. Let's focus on that first. Step 2, alongside, again, what I mentioned earlier, is reverse dieting. And what I mean by this is we're reverse dieting back to his true maintenance of 3,031 calories. And how we go about that is going to be I like to always increase it for his sake, since he's 1,200 calorie deficit. I like to increase it 200 per week. Again, too, it depends on the people's state too, the condition. We can jump them back. We can jump back up to 3,000 calories, no problem. But again, it's based on people's mental state and based on how well can they buy digestive food, speed up metabolism, and also get work into the weight it needs to be. So for him, it should take about 6 weeks to, if he does 200 calories per week, it should take him about 6 weeks to get in true maintenance. Now, again, to be honest with you guys, it's different for everybody. It depends on your lifestyle and it depends on your mental state as well. It depends on, like, can you really do this? Because again, you might gain weight, you might not. It just depends on the person. So you gotta really ask yourself, can I really just jump myself to that and be okay with it, or should I just take it increments as I'm explaining right now and be fine taking a little bit longer process to get where I need to be? So we're going to do 200 calories per week alongside with protein. It just depends on the person and depends what we need to focus on first. But again, I just toss that in there because we're going to need to focus more on protein. And again, if we're already doing like 20, 30 grams, we're doing about 80 to 120 calories. So it's going to be a little bit more, just increase the fats and carbs along with it as we go along. Step 3, based on what he's currently doing, is he's also doing 2 meals a day. I would like to see him do 4 meals. So get consistent with the meals of having 4 times a day. Now, why 4 times a day? Well, I talked with him about it, and he's comfortable doing 4 times a day. And why I said that is because it just makes it a lot easier to consume this amount of caloric intake in one single day. All right, so how do you go about this? So we're looking at our total caloric intake. We'll break it down from 4 meals. It's pretty simple. So 200 divided by 4 is going to be 50 for protein. For fats, it'll be 25 per meal. And then for carbs, it'll be about 85. So again, guys, we always come in the complicity of trying to figure out how to target this first. But when we try and break it down more in simplicity, when we just try and break it 1 meal at a time, which is 50 grams for protein, it's not as hard to consume that amount of protein versus trying to figure out how to get 200. Again, there's many ways you can get 50 grams of protein in a single meal. You can do 6 ounces of meat, 2 cups of yogurt. You can do 2 protein shakes. You can do whatever that fits your lifestyle and whatever proteins you enjoy the most. You can find a way to get that amount in. Once you get that done, I always kind of give a bonus step. I mostly just keep the steps between 3 to 5, depending on how well the client is and how confident they are. But the bonus step is cut out cardio. Why we're going to cut out cardio is because he's already doing the requirement of 10K steps. So there's no reason why he should be doing cardio 6 times a week. It's just kind of overkill at this point. The reason is his current situation. He's already eating 1,800 calories. We kind of get the notion that we should eat less and do more. Well, that's never the case, because if that was, everybody won't be having this problem of trying to lose belly fat. So we just gotta get the notion out that eating more is gonna help us lose belly fat versus eating like an infant. So, and along with that too, cardiac cardio, it can increase more time with his friends, family, increase the time of figuring out how to get 50 grams of protein, food prepping, whatever the case is, he gives more time back to him instead of having to spend in the gym 30, 45 minutes on a treadmill, which no one likes to do. So that's the bonus step I would recommend for him. But guys, there you have it. That's how you customize your macros. So again, you gotta figure out your height, how much you weigh, how old you are, your current lifestyle. So again, he's a pilot, works out 5 times. I do steps too based on the activity, see how much they're doing and the cardio. Then again, once you do that, you do the calculation that I showed you. You figure out your BMR. Once you figure out your BMR, you figure out your TDE. Again, you figure out TDE by your caloric multiplier over here. Once you get that, that'll be your true maintenance. Then once you figure out your true maintenance, again, you gotta figure out your macros. Again, you gotta figure out your proteins, your fats, your carbs. Again, the whole formula is right here for you. Then once you do that, then figure out what you're currently doing and figure out what steps you need to move forward to get yourself where you need to be. Normally, I like to keep it here for about, again, depending, we're going to reverse diet for 6 weeks. Again, it could be quicker, could be a lot later. It just depends on the person and depends how committed they are. So most of the time, I'll just keep doing this until they're there. And then moving forward, once you get back to your true caloric intake, I keep you there for another 4 weeks. Why? Because your body has to adapt to true maintenance before it can move into the true deficit. So guys, there you go. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comments, and also if you find value, please share with a buddy that also needs your help as well.